All right, everybody, welcome to the Studying Brew episode 1049. That's right, 1049. 1049 episodes. We're so happy to have all of you here because you could have been anywhere else, but you decided to be here. And that is half the battle. It's like, what do they say about getting in shape, about changing your life? What's half the battle? Getting out of bed, making that decision to get out of bed, right? It sounds so simple, but it's so difficult. My name is Andy. I am the guy that runs the back office over here, but you're not here for me. You're here for Brandy. She got her Series 6, 63, 26, 65, and her Series 7, which makes her more than qualified to teach you all the things you need to know. So that way you too can get a pass notice. And tonight you're in luck, my friends. Tonight is Free Content Wednesday. I called it Wild Card Wednesday, but tonight we're gonna have content. That's what we're gonna do. We spun the wheel, or Brandy spun the wheel of what we're doing on Wednesday, and she landed on free content. So tonight we are going to be talking about the basics. What does that mean? The
The basics.
basic content that most people get confused when they're studying. It sounds simple,
Mm-hmm.
but like we had somebody who was studying, and they're like, I know I missed like five, because they didn't have us, by the way. They were doing other stuff. And they were like, I know I missed like 5 or 6 questions because I don't even know what a BD is. Right? He's like, broker dealer. Is that what that means? Yeah. Why didn't they tell me?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't the other? I don't know. I can't explain any of that. But I'll tell you this: it's broker dealer. So tonight, Brandy is going to give you stuff like that, the easy, the basics, the foundation of some of the studying stuff that you need to know as you head into those quizzes, as you head into the real exam. Make sure that you get some of that free content. As you all know, if you are a member, you got hours of videos, you got some content that you can get. Brandy breaks it down on the most basics. You got a book, breaks it down to the most basics. She gives you that content, then she goes, oh, this is a broker dealer, this is what everything you need to associate, and it's all in the book. And then in the video she explains it all. We have all that. Tonight we're just giving you the free. It's just a taste. We're like a, I know I thought this was a more of a universal candy shop, but I guess it isn't. It's more of a West Coast thing. But a C's Candy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you ever go into a C's Candy over here, it's like a candy store. You walk in, these lovely older ladies. These they have like these white dresses,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
the old school confectioners, if you will. And they go, hey, we got some truffles. You want a chocolate truffle? And you know me. Yeah. Dude, no need to ask twice. Let's go. What you got? Right? What you got? This is what we got. Tonight we're gonna give you that free chocolate truffle. We're gonna make you smile like a fat kid with cake. It's gonna be a good one. And if you're offended by that, I apologize. I just make references. I don't know. No offense to anybody. Hey, I like a good cut. I love a good cupcake. I like a little good truffle. So no harm, no foul. All right, everybody, let's get this thing going before I say something I'm not supposed to. All right, we got the paid, we got all the books and everything. If you haven't joined in or on with us, go ahead and you're going to scan the QR code, hit the links. We got online courses. We got, some people ask me like, when can I start? Today, next hour, whenever it is. You grab the 21 days, you start clicking links, you start getting into the videos, you're on it. Then you start getting those quizzes, you're on it. You start getting those live exam sessions, you start learning how to break down them quizzes. You start to learn in those sessions how to like use your quizzes to your advantage. You learn how to take notes. You learn how to use your study hours and moments and minutes and whatever you got to the fullest. So that way you guys can go get that dang test done. If you haven't joined in on those live sessions, if you haven't seen any of the way we have it structured now with our Mondays and Fridays, which is all about passing, I implore you to check it out. We got those Mondays and Fridays all recorded. They are there for you to watch in the archives. But during the week, Brandy's breaking it down: live quizzes, live questions, live Q&A. Live, who knows what people are going to ask in these questions and Q&As. And Brandy just goes at it. Sometimes she even writes out her own Q bank questions for you. She writes her own questions so that way you guys can learn this stuff and know how they're kind of going to ask you this. Brandy takes away some of the fears of some of those Q bank questions you're seeing that might misguide you,
A little bit.
because there is Q banks out there, and a lot of people think that if you pass those Q banks by these big providers, by the way, we're just a mom and pop. If you pass those big provider Q banks, oh, that's a guaranteed pass. It's not the truth. They're not written that. The real exam's not even written like that. And a lot of times people will go take that exam after being told that information, and they have that experience and they go, dude, I went in there and I took the exam and I sat there and I clicked one, and it wasn't written nothing like those Q banks. What's up with that? I was like, I know. I know. Well, they told, I know. Guy, you got to be in the keywords. You got to be in the techniques. You got to learn onto the Kona way. Scan the QR code, hit the links. We got the books available. We also got the Kona Discord. If you want to get on there, you can go ahead and ask Brandy questions over there. You can ask the Kona community if you got some questions that are got you fumbled. Brandy actually takes questions from there and puts them in the lives. So sometimes some people think that they're not answered. Oh, they're answered. They're in the lives. The Brandy answers them live. She goes over it. She puts it up on the screen. She takes them down, takes them apart like she was Jason Bourne, and a 9mm Beretta was pointed at her. She just parts are all over the floor. That's just Brandy how she does it. Scan that QR code, hit the links, check out the Kona Hall of Fame over there on the Instagram. My phone number is 951-290-3077. Give me a call, give me a text, or if you're inclined, you can always send me an email, KonaButterflyz@gmail.com. All right, what do we got going on tomorrow? It is a wild Thursday. We got SIE, we got 65, we got study hall, we got small group tutoring, we got all kinds of great stuff for all our members. Make sure that you're queued in to all the stuff that we have. Your email already went out, the reminders out there. Go get the access and join in. We got audios over on the Spotify hooked up to your Kona. All of it's there for you members. Make sure you're locked in. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. Wildcard Wednesday, we are doing free content. Brandy is going to do back to the basics. And
Yep.
tonight, more specifically, who's who?
Who's who?
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 What?
Who?
Who's on first?
Exactly. What's on second? I don't
No,
know.
what's not on second?
Who's on third? Second.
Who's on first?
Never mind.
All right.
Ah. All right, guys. So
that is funny only to people that are over the age of 40, I feel.
Yeah.
They're like, you guys lost your money.
All right. So some things come to light sometimes when I'm in our live sessions. And, like let's say today we studied the 63, which is the third exam that most people take. And I get questions, and I'm not digging. First of all, I'm not digging on anybody who asks these questions, but I think I know what the issue is, right? They'll say, what's the difference between an issuer and a non-issuer? Now, when I hear that question, because I too used to do this when I was studying, I am so focused on the securities vocabulary that I think the word issuer is like this brand new concept, right? And non-issuer, what in the world could that possibly be? And I remember when I was studying, I used to get caught up in these things. And then I had to slow down. And I thought, okay, an issuer issues. I know that sounds so ridiculous, but that's the basic. That's how simple this stuff is that we tend to overlook because we're studying such a complex topic.
I call it the 14-year-old who didn't study the night before. Remember when you were in high school and you were supposed to be studying, and then the teacher calls on you and you didn't sleep because you're, doing whatever. And they go, hey, Pablo, who's the issuer? And you're like, oh man, I wish you wouldn't have called on me. Pablo's like, the one that issues?
Yeah.
Correct.
And
you're like, it can't be
yes.
that easy.
Yes.
Yes, it is. It is that easy.
So easy.
Pablo all of a sudden is a genius.
But I don't know why. I have no idea why that when I was studying, it wasn't that easy. It wasn't that simple. Or at least I wasn't thinking that it was. Does that make sense? So we're going to go back.
Well, a lot of times you have these people that are doing it, and they're, they got them suits, ties. They got the polo Power polos. They're explaining it to you. Sounds way more complicated.
Yeah.
And then you realize five five pages in reading, and you realize, okay, so an issue or just issue stuff.
Yeah. Exactly.
Why couldn't they just say that?
I don't know why.
So you're saying the taco man makes tacos?
Yeah. Can I get a burger? No, bro. This is a taco shop.
Exactly.
It's not a burger shop. It's a taco shop. No, you can't get a burger here. Burrito, maybe.
You ain't getting fried chicken from the burger man.
Quesadilla, maybe. But a burger? No, man, I don't got no buns here. Do you see what I'm saying? That happens so frequently that all you got to do is just slow down a second, right? And again, I'm not knocking you guys. Please don't think that that's what I'm saying. It's just more like this is those light bulb moments, right? Those light bulb moments where you're like, no way is it that simple. Why wasn't I thinking that this way this whole time? It's because nobody's taught you that. Okay. All right. So an issuer, very basic. The issuer issues securities. When we talk about, I'm not saying go buy it. I'm not saying go sell it. All I'm saying as an example is that when we say, we're talking about stocks and we say Amazon, that's an issuer. Amazon is an issuer. Yes, they also sell other things online, but their stock makes them an issuer. That's it.
Same with all those big companies.
All the big companies, all the little companies, anybody that issues stock is an issuer.
Anybody that's on that market.
Right. That capital market.
Right.
Yes, guys, the capital market, by the way, is the stocks and bonds.
What?
Yes, it is the marketplace for the stocks and bonds. That's yeah. See, look at fun fact. You guys probably didn't even think about it that way again. So then we have two major types of investors. Okay. So we have two major types of investors. We've got the retail investor and we got the institutional. Institutional. Do you know at one point I forgot how to spell institutional because I spell it so much? Fun facts. Okay. Do you go into, when you're doing your everyday shopping, do you go into a retail store or do you go into a specialty store? Your everyday shopping. You got to pick up some shampoo for the kids. Are you going into a specialty store or are you going into a retail store?
Retail?
Retail. Retail is the most common. It's the most common. It's me and you.
Yeah, I mean, getting back to what Brandy's saying, you're gonna go pick up some shampoo, right? You gotta wash that hair.
Yeah.
You're not going into the specific shampoo maker's store, right?
Yes, exactly. All the rules that we have are to protect these investors. Because why? Dude, I don't know how shampoo is made. I'm going to rely on this big brand company to provide the shampoo that smells good for me. That's it.
Don't know, don't care.
I don't know how to make it. I don't know what's in it, right? It's not my job to know what's in shampoo. I just go into the local retail store and go buy my shampoo.
And if you're that T personality that right now, it's going, no, I always know what's in my products. I read the back label, and hey,
you don't know those science words.
Dial it back. Dial it back.
Okay.
Phosphorus number 45, whatever.
So a type of retail investor is called an accredited investor.
I saw a TikTok on that aluminum.
It's bad. You know they make cans out of it. Okay. So accredited investor. Did I put that over on the institutional side? No, it's just a special retail. It's just a fancy retail investor. Okay. The numbers associated with an accredited investor is 1 million of net worth. Never, oh, let me spell out net worth. Not including your primary residence. We don't ever include primary residence in your net worth because it's your net. That means things have been taken out of your worth. So we don't include your primary residence.
No, we're talking about that beach house.
Yes.
We're talking about that 10 Airbnbs you own. We're talking about that mountain house. We're talking about your extra house in Toledo, Ohio for some reason.
Okay, so to be accredited, you have to either have 1 million of net worth or make 200, 300 if you're married, 200,000 in salary for basically the previous 2 years and expected in the next. And yes, I have seen some quiz questions that point to this exact. Oh, you have to have certain licenses.
Yeah, you can't just walk in on the street.
Which means if you have the 7, the 65, or the 82, you're accredited. What? Brandy in his house.
She's got two. Got 2 out of the 3.
Or right. So that's what makes you accredited. You have some experience under your belt, right? Oh, and extensive experience. Don't ask me to define extensive. I don't know what that means. There's no number, but you know a little bit more than the average person. Okay.
That's extensive.
Extensive. Right. So that's accredited. Now, institutional means you're special. Well, okay. Never mind. I'm going to use that definition somewhere else, but maybe you have a specialty. Right. I'm going to put it like that. You have a specialty, which means most entities in financial services. So broker dealers, banks, savings institutions, trust companies, right? You're in financial, I put in financials, in financial services, right? So you provide some sort of financial service.
Right. There's that 14-year-old knowledge, you know what I mean?
But we have banks, savings institutions, trust companies. We've got broker dealers. We have investment advisors. We have investment companies. We have insurance companies. See, all in financial services, right? Plus government and municipalities. And here's the good one. Here's the one that trips a lot of people up. If I have $40 million, you're like, man, dude, she must be institutional. Nope. I would be accredited because institutional starts at 50 million. So if I have less than 50 million and you're basing it on my assets, I would not be institutional.
So if I get a question
mm-hmm.
and it says blah, 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 40 million, blah, 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 then I see the answers and one of them says blah, 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 accredited, blah, 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 specialty.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really need to know all the blah, blah, blahs. I just need to connect accredited because you said 40 million is accredited because it isn't at that 50 million mark.
Correct.
See what I'm saying about keywords and keeping it basic? Do you see how, like, literally, I don't need to know all the blah, 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 blah?
Blah.
I just need to know that 40 million accredited. 39 million?
Accredited.
49.9 million.
Accredited.
49.99.
Accredited. How about you only have 999,000?
Credited. No, not a million. Tricky. See? Almost went.
Tricky.
It's not accredited.
If anybody is seeing this, WSP, no, we are not talking about WISP. We're not talking about WISP.
Wall Street.
Nope.
Planners.
Nope.
The Wall Street posse.
Written supervisory procedures. Apparently, this is anytime you're talking about like broker-dealer structure or whatever.
Are you telling me these are the written supervisory procedures? These are the procedures that have been written down?
Yes.
For supervisory?
But guys, sometimes on your test, they don't write out written supervisory procedures. They just refer to it as a WSP. They just refer to, on the tests, they might refer to it as a WSP. So you have to know that they're talking about a written supervisor procedure. Now, what could that possibly be? It is a procedure that the supervisors have to supervise their employees on, and it's written.
It's almost like when we talk about basketball and we see MJ, Michael Jordan. Talk about music, we see MJ,
Mhm.
Michael Jackson.
Right.
They didn't say it, we just know it.
Right. It's one of those things. It's one of those things. The rule book. It's the employee handbook. That's the one I'm looking at. It's basically like the employee handbook. It's if your firm allows you to do it, there is a WSP around it. If there's no WSP, you cannot do it. Period. Well, what about that? I don't know. Do you have a WSP? What about I don't know. Do you have a WSP? Well, I want to do that. I don't know. Is there a WSP?
There has to be a written procedure.
If
Some
you're
of you, like if you were in the military, this makes perfect sense.
right.
If there's not a procedure, you're probably not doing it, right?
Right.
There has to be a procedure. There has to be some written procedure that explains exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Otherwise, you ain't doing it.
Exactly.
It's what they call by the book.
Yes.
Crazy. Again, these aren't you don't need to overly complicate this stuff, right? I'm gonna steal something from our president. You just got to use common sense.
Yep.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the next one, broker dealers. Broker dealers, BD, broker dealers, they're in the business of effecting securities transactions in the account of others or for themselves. I write my definitions weird, don't I?
Do you know why? Are you dividing it like that because you
Yes.
want you to know there's two different roles or two different
Yes.
things they do?
They could be a broker dealer that does both of these things, or they could do just one. It really just depends on the structure of the firm.
I'm gonna give you guys a note taking tip right here. What she did there visually is how your brain will imprint it if you write it that way. Your brain will remember that they have two different roles,
Two different processes.
two different processes they can do. But the point is there's two different things, right?
Yes. One is acts as a broker and one acts as a dealer. So broker is the account of others. Why? Because it's real estate. Do you just walk on to a lot of houses and you say, I want that one? Can you go have that shipped to me in my city on my street?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen, right?
Just rolling around in California and you're like, yo, I want that house in Toledo, Ohio.
Right.
Can you have it there next week?
But instead, an agent takes you around city. Instead, an agent takes you around because they know, hey, these people are selling their houses and this person wants to buy a house. So I'm going to take you around and I'm going to connect a buyer and a seller. So therefore, I'm acting in an agent capacity and I get a commission for that. So do you guys see the for others part of this? In the account of others for others, it means that you're connecting a buyer and a seller. So you got a buyer over here and you got a seller over here, and now they're buying that house or those securities or whatever. Okay. Now for themselves is like a car dealership. Car dealership.
So you mean like if I owned a car dealership
Mm-hmm.
and I was in the business of selling cars,
Mm-hmm.
I would go buy cars for my inventory and then have
Yes.
them on my lot?
Yes. And don't you charge a markup for that?
Yeah, it cost me X amount to go get those cars in my lot. It's not like they hand them out for free.
And if like somebody can probably sell their used Civic for, I don't know, 20,000, are you going to actually buy for them for 20,000 or are you going to kind of mark it down a little bit?
Well, I got to make a profit here. I got to mark it down, you know? I got to get my guys to clean it up, take some of them smells out of that car.
Exactly. Now look, I'm going to tell you guys this This is I usually tell our members this, but I'm going to give this one away for free. Okay. It's also the same thing I tell my kids. Don't rebel or fight the words that you guys see on the screen. Don't rebel or fight the words on the screen. Don't question it. I know we're taught, to question certain things, but don't fight it. It is what it is. You questioning it isn't going to change it. Just note it. That's it. It's set in stone. The more I questioned it, the more I fought against it, the more I rebelled against it, the harder it was for me to learn this stuff.
It's kind of like when your 3-year-old goes, why is the sky blue? And you're like, because it is. They go, but why? And then you tell them, and why? And then they go, but why? And then they go, but why? And they go, but why? And it's like a constant train of, but why? Never satisfied with any of the answers you give. It's just another, but why? And some of you guys get in that loop and then you confuse yourself. I call it chasing your own tail.
Yes. Don't do that. All right. So I only have two more. I know we're running a little bit late, but I have two more. Investment advisors simply just get paid for investment related advice.
Seems simple enough.
But what if it's incidental? But I'm an agent, and I give advice when I'm meeting with my clients. Am I an investment advisor? Do you get paid for that advice? No, then you're not an investment advisor. Does that make sense? That's like probably the best way to describe it is unless you get paid specifically for that advice, you're not an advisor. But if it's incidental to your job, then that's what you are. You're that whatever that is over there. Okay. IARs is literally an investment advisor rep. It is the human that represents the firm.
So when you pass your Series 65, for example, you are an IAR.
Yes. One of the most confusing things about the 63 and the laws and regulations about the 65 is that we call the human the investment advisor in real life. In real life, we use that term, but in test world, the IA is the firm and the IAR is the human. So when I teach this stuff, I'm very careful about using the word firm or individual, not person.
My gosh. When I make a post for passers in the beginning, I would put investment advisor when they pass the Series 65. And Brandy would be like, she'd actually me. She'd go, that's an investment advisor rep.
Yeah.
It's an IAR.
They're
I'm
not
like,
a firm.
what's the difference?
They're not a firm.
She's like, oh my gosh, it's not a firm. I go, oh.
All right, last one. Exempt and non-exempt. Now you would think like an exempt, you have to sign up for that thing, right? You got to sign up to be exempt. You get special privileges, whatever. It's actually kind of opposite. When you're exempt, it means you meet the qualifications of whatever it is, but you don't have to register. So you're special. That's why I didn't want to use that for institutional. You're special in this one. So you don't have to register. You get all the perks, but you don't have to register.
It's like you're extra. So you don't really need to be on that normal level.
Hey, let me escort you to the suite so you can watch the Super Bowl in the suite.
Right.
You're special.
Right. Kind of like, that Jeff Bezos, for an example, probably didn't pay for those Super Bowl tickets. You know what I mean? Or any event like that. He just shows up and they're like, no, you're not sitting up in the nosebleeds, bro. We got a suite for you.
Do you think he walks around going, do you know who I am?
Nah, how do you not know what that?
Yeah.
Never mind.
So look.
You see that dude walking down, you know who that is.
So if you have exempt as special, that means non-exempt means you're not special. You're like everybody else. I think you're special.
Pulling up in his Honda Accord.
Yeah. But you're not special, which means you have to register. Da, 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 da. That's all. But do you guys see how we related it? That's all. And this goes for humans, this goes for firms, and this goes for issuers and their securities.
Must register.
I'm gonna zoom back in. All right, that's it. Those were all questions that we had today during our member sessions. So I wanted to clarify for everybody.
For free.
For free.
Wow, how generous of you.
I know.
If it was me, I would have cut you off like a halfway through it. I'd be like, nah, you're already hooked. You got to go buy it. Brandy, she's like, nah, it's good.
Nah, y'all can have it. Today only.
Yeah, there you go. All right, everybody. Generous Brandy giving out that free content for you. Go check out all the other stuff that we got going on. Remember, we're just a mom and pop. We always love having you guys as members. Helps us keep the lights on. Plus, we love being devoted to helping you get these licenses and giving you all the extra we possibly can. So thank you all for being here on this beautiful Studying Brew on this wonderful, here in Southern California, about to be on the edge of a atmospheric river wet Wednesday. I don't know. Anyway, stay safe, please. If you are definitely all across the country, we're all getting hit with winter. So please stay safe. We're gonna have the Studying Brew tomorrow night. So if you are indoors, you know, trying to be out of all the winter madness or fun that's happening right across the United States, we'll be here for the Studying Brew. We're gonna be doing content. We're gonna be doing techniques. It's gonna be great. Can't wait to have you here. Same bat time, same bat channel. But none of that can happen if you don't stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your friend's face. That's all I know. Keep the positive mental attitude. PMA, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you all so much for being on. We so super appreciate you. Practice keywords in your studying and in your quizzes. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great one.